It is not how long but how well we live that matters. Jeremiah say, life is not a solo but a chorus. We live in relationships from cradle to grave. Anon. Life is worth living better than most men live it. Anon. Live your best, and act your best, and think your best each day, for there may be no tomorrows. Anon. Everything in life is a test of character. John Blanchard. Life ought not merely to contain acts of worship, it should be an act of worship. John Blanchard. Be such a man, and live such a life, that if every man were such as you, and every life a life like yours, this earth would be God's paradise. Phillips Brooks. The quality of life is more important than life itself. Alexis Carroll. Life is too short to be small. Benjamin Disraeli. The man who regards his own life and that of his fellow creatures as meaningless is not merely unfortunate but almost disqualified for life. Albert Einstein. What makes life dreary is absence of motive. What makes life complicated is multiplicity of motive. What makes life victorious is singleness of motive. George Eliot. Life is not measured by length but by depth. Birthdays tell us how long we have been on the road, not how far we have traveled. Vance Havner. Every man's life is his opportunity of doing that which will make for him in eternity. Matthew Henry. Sow an action and you reap a habit. Sow a habit and you reap a character. Sow a character and you reap a destiny. William James. The most important thing in life is to live your life for something more important than your life. William James. The end of life is not to be happy, nor to achieve pleasure and avoid pain, but to do the will of God, come what may. Martin Luther King. Make sure the thing you are living for is worth dying for. Charles Mays. The 7 ages of man: spills, drills, thrills, bills, ills, pills, wills. Richard J. Needham. We are here to add what we can to life, not to get what we can from it. William Osler. The whole of life is a test, a trial of what is in us, so arranged by God Himself. William S. Plummer. We are not so to live as if we had nothing but a body. J.C. Ryle. The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Mark Twain. We should employ our passions in the service of life, not spend life in the service of our passions. Richard Steele. Let us live as people who are prepared to die, and die as people who are prepared to live. James S. Stewart. Let us endeavor so to live that when we come to die even the undertaker will be sorry. Mark Twain. No one can live well until they can die well. David Watson. Take care of your life and the Lord will take care of your death. George Whitefield. Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside us while we live. Norman Cousins. Life can only be enjoyed as one acquires a true perspective of life and death and of The real purpose of life. Spiros Zodhiates. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. 3 things in life: your health, your mission, and the people you love. That's it. Naval Ravikant. Be brave enough to live the life of your dreams according to your vision and purpose, instead of the expectations and opinions of others. Roy T. Bennett. The more you know who you are, and what you want, the less you let things upset you. Stephanie Perkins. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. C.S. Lewis. You couldn't relive your life, skipping the awful parts, without losing what made it worthwhile. You had to accept it as a whole, like the world, or the person you loved. Stuart Onan. Life is a question and how we live it is our answer. Gary Keller. See, it's a never-ending upward spiral. And if you think at any point you're allowed to stop climbing, I'm afraid you're missing the point. Because the joy is in the climb itself. Mark Manson. Don't be afraid of death. Be afraid of an unlived life. You don't have to live forever. You just have to live. Natalie Babbitt. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Soren Kierkegaard. Most of life is about searching, it's not about doing. People spend too much time doing and not thinking about what they should be doing. Naval Ravikant. Care about what other people think and you will always be their prisoner. Lao Tzu. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. Carl Jung. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less. Marie Curie. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. Abraham Lincoln. Some people never go crazy. What truly horrible lives they must lead. Charles Bukowski. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all. Oscar Wilde. You don't get to choose how you're going to die, or when, but you can decide how you're going to live now. Joan Baez. Not how long, but how well you have lived is the main thing. Seneca. Life is not a process of discovery, but a process of creation. Neil Donald Walsh. It's not so much what we have in this life that matters. It's what we do with what we have. Fred Rogers. Keep smiling, because life is a beautiful thing and there's so much to smile about. Marilyn Monroe. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to do, and then do it. Henry Ford. A man can fail many times, but he isn't a failure until he begins to blame somebody else.